of dropping Onana is not putting Andre Onana with just 1 week without seeing a game, without time.
The drama surrounding Manchester United's clash with Arsenal was not just another chapter in the Premier League's long history of rivalries. It was a revelation, a statement, and perhaps even the dawn of a new era under Ruben Amorim. Months ago, few would have believed that United, a team broken, drifting, and scarred from one of its darkest ever seasons, would rise with such clarity and conviction. But at the Emirates, against Arsenal's rigid defensive wall, they did more than just compete. They exposed a formula. They revealed the blueprint that could tilt the balance of power in England once again. When Amorim first arrived, he made a bold promise: the storm is coming. For a club buried in mediocrity, those words sounded like empty bravado, the sort of declaration managers often make before the reality of the Premier League swallows them whole. Yet against Arsenal, a team that conceded just 34 league goals last season, United controlled 61% of possession, registered 22 shots, 7 on target, and produced an expected goals tally of 1.59. The fact that Arsenal's goalkeeper David Raya had to make 7 crucial saves just to keep his side in the game said it all. United weren't lucky. They weren't fluking it. This was structure. This was control. This was evidence that Amorim's system works, even against the very best. The transformation did not happen overnight. Last season was nothing short of humiliation. Under Amorim's early months, United collapsed into 14th place, endured a Europa League final defeat to Tottenham, and suffered one of the bleakest campaigns in modern memory. Critics wrote him off as naive, insisting his rigid system and refusal to adapt would be his downfall. But Amorim held his ground. He endured the storm, never wavering from his philosophy, even as the pressure mounted. Now, with time, space, and his own players, the vision is starting to take shape. Against Arsenal, we saw a Manchester United unrecognizable from the fragile, chaotic mess of 12 months ago. We saw pace, bravery, aggression, and for the first time in years, belief. The recruitment has been decisive. Amorim didn't just sign names, he built weapons. Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Benjamin Šeško have transformed United's attack into a three-headed spear of mobility, intelligence, and power. Last season, United scored just 44 goals in the league. Tottenham, aside flirting with relegation, managed 64. That embarrassing statistic explained everything. If United were ever to rise again, they needed more than hope. They needed firepower. And now, they have it. Mbeumo brings direct running and work rate. Cunha combines creativity with relentless dribbling. Šeško adds height, presence, and a lethal finish. Together, they've brought back something Old Trafford has been starved of for years: electricity. But it would be unfair to describe United's resurgence as purely attacking fireworks. The real shock came at the back. Matthijs de Ligt, Luke, Shaw, and Lenny Yoro formed a defensive wall that completely shut down Victor Gyökeres, Arsenal's 54-goal striker from last season. On this night, the prolific Swede registered nothing. No goals, no assists, not even a shot on target. For a player Arsenal spent nearly 55 million on, it was humiliation. What it proved was simple. Amorim hasn't just built a side that can attack with fire. He's crafted a team that can defend with steel. To understand the scale of this transformation, you have to look back to where it began. When Amorim took charge last year, he inherited chaos. United's identity had collapsed into dust. Squad was bloated with players who no longer fit. Tactics were confused, and confidence was at rock bottom. The results were brutal. Just 7 wins in 26 league matches under his watch. By the end of the campaign, United sat marooned in 14th place. A club that once defined English football reduced to shadows of its former self. Even the Europa League final, once a chance for redemption, ended in heartbreak against Tottenham. Fans were furious. Pundits declared him out of his depth. The headlines were merciless. Amorim's United had reached new lows, yet through it all, he refused to abandon his principles. He doubled down on his 3-4-2-1 system, insisting identity mattered more than short-term results. He argued that players had to understand the game, not just positions. He believed cohesion would come, even if it required pain. At the time, that sounded stubborn, even reckless. But now, as United dismantle elite opposition with confidence and style, it feels like foresight. Amorim didn't just want to win, he wanted to build something sustainable. A Manchester United with a clear structure, a philosophy, and a future. This summer was the turning point. The dead weight was cut loose. Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, all players once considered central to United's project, were told their time was up. In their place, Amorim brought in players who fit his vision, who could run, press, and create without hesitation. And suddenly, the picture looked different. United weren't just reacting anymore, they were dictating. The clash against Arsenal showcased exactly how. Mbeumo tormented the Gunners' right side, dragging defenders out of position, cutting inside, and forcing saves from Raya. Cunha, meanwhile, played like a man possessed. He completed more dribbles than anyone on the pitch, won duels across the front line, and constantly pulled Arsenal's backline into uncomfortable territory. His passing map revealed intent. Nearly 40% of his distribution went right, linking with Mbeumo to stretch Arsenal wide and expose the gaps. They weren't flawless. Touches went astray, chances were missed, but they were fearless. And that alone is a revolution at Old Trafford. Fearlessness is not something United fans have felt for a long time. Last season, the players looked timid, drained of confidence, and shackled by uncertainty. Now they press high, attack in numbers, and play without fear of failure. That is Amorim's greatest gift so far. He has restored bravery. He has reignited belief. Even more fascinating is the emergence of Mason Mount as a crucial piece in this new structure. Signed for big money amid skepticism, Mount was plagued by injuries and inconsistency in his first campaign. Many wondered whether United had wasted their resources, but against Arsenal he showed glimpses of why Amorim values him so highly. Operating as the inside left in the 3-4-2-1, Mount constantly found pockets of space between Arsenal's defenders. His positioning created overloads, his vision unlocked wingbacks, and his passes set Mbeumo and Dorgo free on multiple occasions. He wasn't flawless, timing let him down once or twice, but he gave United cohesion. For years, this team has been a patchwork of individuals. Mount could be the glue Amorim needs. The player managers appreciate more than fans because of his tactical intelligence and willingness to sacrifice for the system. And then there's the defense. For the first time in over a decade, United's backline looks like more than just stopgaps. Yoro, De Ligt, and Shaw aren't simply stoppers, they're progressive defenders, capable of stepping into midfield, breaking lines with their passing, and keeping United on the front foot. With Lisandro Martinez still recovering, Harry Maguire still offering aerial dominance and depth across the unit, this is suddenly a defense with purpose. Yes, the goalkeeping issue remains unresolved. Neither Bander nor Onana has fully convinced, and in the Premier League, that weakness could prove costly. But Amorim has built a foundation. United no longer crumble when pressed. They no longer collapse under pressure. They hold their shape, they compete, and most importantly, they look like a team again. For all the tactical breakdowns, all the statistics, and all the progress, the bigger story is symbolic. Manchester United, for the first time in years, feel like a club with direction. They are no longer stumbling from one false dawn to another. They are building something brick by brick. Amorim may not deliver the Premier League title this season. Realistically, top 4 is the immediate goal, but he has given the fans something they have craved for over a decade: hope grounded in reality. Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, these giants will still test United to their limits. There will be defeats, frustrating draws, and nights when the project looks raw, but unlike the chaos of the past, this is a plan with roots, a philosophy that does not bend in the wind. Against Arsenal, United didn't just play well. They dominated possession, created more chances, and left the Emirates knowing they had imposed their will.